All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. So in this video, I want to talk about Manfred Hoeberl. So for those of you who don't know who Manfred Hoeberl was, he was a professional strongman and powerlifter in the 1990s. And in 1994, he was measured at the Arnold Classic to have the biggest arms in the world as of 1994. So they measured his arms 2 times in 1994 at that same Arnold Classic. So the first measurement was taken cold, which means without a pump. So he had not worked out. His biceps did not have a pump. They were just, flat. So the flat measurement of his biceps was 25.75 inches cold. Then he pumped up for about 5 minutes. And after pumping up, they measured in at over 26 inches pumped. So he was the first man ever to have an arm measurement that was 3 times the circumference of his wrist. So 26 inches was over 3 times the circumference of his wrist, and he was the first man in history to have that measurement. So obviously, if you look at his arms, it kind of looks a little bit suspicious in terms of, potential synthol use. But it's important to keep in mind that this guy was massive. He was 6'3", over 300 pounds. Like I said, he was a strongman competitor and powerlifter, so it's not like this guy was the leanest guy in the world. He was obviously carrying around a lot of body weight to be a strong guy and to be a powerlifter and compete in these strongman shows. So he was also from the same town in Austria that Arnold Schwarzenegger was from. He is a 7-time Austria's strongest man. He is a 2-time Europe's strongest man. And like I said, he was the first man to ever have an arm measurement that the circumference was 3 times the size of his wrist. His best bench press was 628 pounds, which is the equivalent of 285 kilograms. His best squat was 794 pounds, which is the equivalent of 360 kilograms. And his best deadlift was 860 pounds, which is the equivalent of 390 kilograms. And all of these lifts were done completely raw. So they weren't, equipped in any way. So he competed in the World's Strongest Man competition 3 times. In 1991, he placed 8th at the World's Strongest Man. In 1993, he placed 4th. And in 1994, he placed 2nd at the World's Strongest Man. So in 1994, shortly after the World's Strongest Man, he got in a really bad car accident, which kind of led him to not compete for a while. So that kind of threw off his placings. But he ended up competing again. So he competed for a few more years. And then in 1997, he had a terrible bicep injury that eventually forced him to retire. So in 2002, he had another car accident, and it was a near fatal accident. And he said he lost almost 100 kilograms of weight while he was in the hospital. And at that point, the accident was so bad that he ended up never competing or not never competing, but never training again. So he's never stepped foot in the gym since this accident. So he doesn't weight train anymore. He's just a regular guy, and he's still alive at the age of 52. So I thought this was an interesting topic for a video because not only did he have the largest arms in the world at one point in time, but he was a functional athlete. Some of these guys that have their arms measured as the largest arms in the world are just guys that go to the gym, pump their arms full of synthol, do bicep curls all day, and that's all they do. But this guy was a functional athlete that competed in the World's Strongest Man and was actually runner-up for the World's Strongest Man competition, which is the biggest strongman competition in the world. So this guy was actually a very impressive athlete. He had functional muscle, not just big fake muscle. He actually used it and put it to work. So whether or not there was synthol in there, we don't really know. We can probably speculate that there was. But even if there was, he actually had functional, athletic muscle that he actually utilized in competition. So I think that's pretty cool, pretty noteworthy, and it's pretty cool that he's actually still alive to tell that story. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned a little bit about Manfred Hoeberl that you didn't know before. Many of you have probably never even heard of the guy, but I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.